What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 15:44 Eastern Time here in the United States, and I wanted to update you on the situation in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and Asia. So, we currently have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. We currently have three nuclear war command and control planes up in the air over the continental United States, and they're currently sending out nuclear attack options to U.S. nuclear forces. We also have three B 52 nuclear bombers airborne over Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. So our nuclear forces are on very high alert. And Biden sent out a letter yesterday to Congress about the U.S. response to the Iranian attack on Israel. So let me just read to you a little bit of what he wrote to Congress. He wrote, "In recent months, we have adjusted the U.S. military posture to improve U.S. force protection and increase support for the defense of Israel. These adjustments include extension of the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, along with its destroyer escorts and carrier air wing that is equipped with F-35 fifth-generation fighters to replace the previously extended USS Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group. We also have deployed additional destroyers, including some that are ballistic missile defense capable, the guided missile submarine USS Georgia, the USS Wasp Amphibious Ready Group, multiple fighter and attack squadrons of 4th and 5th generation fighters, including F-22, F-15E, and F-16, as well as A-10 attack aircraft and other forces." Okay, so massive amount of military equipment being moved into the Middle East in preparation for this massive war between Israel and Iran that could kick off any day now. UN peacekeepers in southern Lebanon are claiming that an Israeli Merkava main battle tank fired at their watchtower near the town of Kafr Kila in southern Lebanon. If you remember, a couple of days ago, the UN refused to remove their peacekeepers from southern Lebanon. So this is very, very serious. And the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is actually banned from visiting Israel. And Israel's plan to respond to Iran's attack is ready, a source familiar with the matter told CNN today. So Israel has completed their plans for their strike on Iran, and it looks like it's just a matter of time. And we heard various sources report yesterday and today that it's going to happen before the U.S. presidential election on November the 5th. And Israel will target various sites in Iran, including missile and drone storage facilities, military bases, key government buildings, and nuclear research laboratories, Israeli officials told the New York Times. So there's been a lot of debate about whether or not Israel's going to strike the nuclear facilities and the oil facilities. Well, today we're hearing that they're going to hit nuclear research laboratories. So that's basically the nuclear facilities, okay? That's where they enrich uranium. I would be very, very surprised if Israel does not hit the nuclear sites. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life with over 2,000 calories per day, all packed inside of 6 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. The normal price is $800. If you use the link, you'll only pay $600 for 3 months of food with free shipping. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. But it looks like they're definitely going to be hitting military bases, key government buildings, drone and missile storage. So get prepared, guys. I think what Israel is doing now is they're just waiting to have good intelligence on their targets. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the intelligence to come in. They want to make sure they hit the right targets and that the target is there when they want to hit it. And according to Walla News, Israel has invested billions in preparing for a potential strike on Iran, developing specialized munitions that the U.S. either lacks or declined to provide. These include long-range missiles launched by fighter jets and advanced bunker busters. The report also suggests that Israel may have additional undisclosed munitions as part of its arsenal. Wow, spent billions of dollars preparing for this strike on Iran with specialized munitions, okay? And Jordan's foreign minister told Iran's top diplomat in a meeting on Wednesday that Jordan will not be a battlefield for anyone and will not allow any party to violate its sovereignty and airspace and threaten its citizens' security. Wow. So Jordan basically siding with Iran. The Iranian foreign minister visited Jordan, and now Jordan is saying they will not allow anyone to fly over their airspace or participate in this strike on Iran. So this is very bad news for Israel and the U.S. And Qatar won't allow the American Al Udeid air base on its soil to be used to start a war against countries in the region. So Qatar is also saying they do not want to be a part of this conflict, okay? And the Al Udeid base is the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East. Wow. And Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi warned UN Chief Antonio Guterres that Iran is ready for a decisive and regretful response if Israel attacks his country. Iran, while making all-out efforts to protect the peace and security of the region, is fully prepared for a decisive and regretful response to any adventures by Israel, Iran's foreign minister said during a phone call with Guterres, according to a statement from his office on Wednesday. During the call on Tuesday evening, Araghchi also appealed to the United Nations to use its resources to stop the crimes and aggressions of the Israeli regime and to send humanitarian aid to Lebanon and Gaza. Iran's foreign minister also spoke on the phone with his French counterpart Jean-Noël Barrot on Tuesday, his office said. In the call, Araghchi stressed the need to stop Israeli attacks on Lebanon and warned against any new adventures and called for the removal of Israeli obstacles impeding the delivery of aid to displaced people. It followed a phone conversation on Sunday between the two countries' presidents, Emmanuel Macron and Masoud Pezeshkian. Over the past week, Araghchi has visited Lebanon, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Iraq, and Oman. Araghchi visited Jordan on Wednesday before traveling to Egypt and Turkey. So this is very, very serious, guys. The Iranian foreign minister making his rounds, talking to all the Muslim countries in the Middle East and also with France about the situation in Lebanon, warning of a decisive and regretful response. And Iran's Atomic Energy Agency spokesperson Behrouz Kamalvandi said on Wednesday that the probability of an Israeli attack on Iran's nuclear sites was low, but any potential damage would be quickly compensated. So they're preparing for their nuclear sites to be hit. And the U.S. Embassy in Beirut has released an updated security alert yesterday calling on Americans to urgently leave Lebanon. And Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin sent a letter to Israeli leaders on Monday warning that U.S. arms shipments to Israel could be at risk if Israel does not take steps within 30 days to improve conditions in the Gaza Strip. After the letter was received, 50 aid trucks entered Gaza from Israel. U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller says Israel has taken several steps to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza since the Biden administration sent the warning letter that continued security assistance was at risk. Miller pointed to the 50 aid trucks that Israel allowed into northern Gaza over the past day. So very concerning, guys, okay? The Biden administration sent a letter on Monday warning that the U.S. would stop giving Israel aid, military aid, if Israel did not allow humanitarian trucks to enter Gaza. Interesting. And Russia is now preparing for a direct military confrontation with NATO, according to Bruno Kahl, the head of Germany's foreign intelligence. And South Korea's top military officer has canceled his trip to the U.S. this week amid heightened cross-border tensions due to North Korea's destruction of two major roads connecting the two Koreas, sources said on Wednesday. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Admiral Kim Myung-soo initially planned to depart for the U.S. on Tuesday to attend a senior-level meeting, but has decided to hold virtual talks instead in light of the recent security situation, according to sources. So very serious, guys. Okay, very serious. South Korea had to open fire on North Korean troops because they crossed over the DMZ into South Korea when they were trying to destroy those roads. And North Korea has put their artillery on full combat alert, and Kim Jong-un had a meeting with his national security team, okay, or whatever you want to call them. And North Korean state media claims that around 1.5 million people joined or re-enlisted in the North Korean army this week, vowing to fight in a sacred war of destroying the enemy with the arms of the revolution. Wow. So massive communist army of 1.5 million getting ready to be unleashed on South Korea. And missile fragments were found near the Moldovan village of Lankauti, located just 2.5 miles from the Ukrainian border. Moldova's border police reported today. So these were Russian missile fragments found in Moldova. And North Korea has sent approximately 10,000 soldiers to Russia, according to Western sources. And the U.S. is concerned about the possible participation of North Korean troops in the war in Ukraine. The spokesman for the National Security Council, Sean Savette, said, according to him, if the participation of North Korean troops in the war is confirmed, it will mean a significant strengthening of relations between North Korea and Russia. So very concerning. We know that they signed a security deal a few months ago when Putin visited North Korea for the first time since Kim Jong-un has been the leader. And they signed some kind of an agreement. And the deputy foreign minister in Russia said yesterday that Russia would help North Korea if North Korea came under attack. And South Korea has announced it would send direct military aid to Ukraine if North Korean troops are seen on the front line. And North Korea's assistance to Russia effectively constitutes North Korea joining the war, according to the president of Ukraine. And Australia is going to be providing 49 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. And Ukraine reportedly reclaimed territory north of Kharkiv. Almost an entire Russian regiment was destroyed. Units of Ukraine's military intelligence cleared almost 1,000 acres of forest in the Kharkiv Oblast from Russian forces, killing a number of Russian soldiers. The operation was conducted north of the village of Liptsi, located 6 miles south of the Russian border. The village was under Russian occupation from February to September 2022 and was again targeted during Russia's renewed offensive against Kharkiv in 2024. And we're hearing unconfirmed reports that FEMA is now seizing donated supplies intended for Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina and Tennessee, including winter supplies, baby diapers, and food that were delivered to a church. And apparently future donations have been banned. And I'm also hearing from sources on the ground in the Tennessee, North Carolina area that FEMA has sent armed forces, some kind of FEMA troops to the Smoky Mountains region. I'm learning more about this. It's a developing story. I'll have more updates for you soon. And I want to read to you this tweet from the Israeli defense minister. Earlier this morning, he lashed out at Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. He said, French President Macron's actions are a disgrace to the French nation and the values of the free world which he claims to uphold. The decision to discriminate against Israeli defense industries in France a second time aids Israel's enemies during war. This builds on the decision to place an arms embargo on the Jewish state. France has adopted and is consistently implementing a hostile policy towards the Jewish people. We will continue defending our nation against enemies on 7 different fronts and fighting for our future with or without France. What's very interesting is that France was actually responsible for the Israeli nuclear weapons program. It was actually France that helped Israel develop nuclear weapons in the 1950s. And now it's gone the total opposite direction, where they were once close allies and now they just can't stand each other. We had more high priority reconnaissance in Poland last night. Another U.S. RC-135 combat scent was patrolling the shore of Kaliningrad here, which is a Russian province facing the Baltic Sea. So it took off from the UK and it flew really low here along the coast of Kaliningrad, and it flew around Kaliningrad as well. There was also a RC-135 rivet joint reconnaissance plane patrolling northern Poland along the border with Kaliningrad, flying back and forth hundreds of times. So this is extremely concerning, guys. And yesterday I showed you guys the picture of Estonia testing these bunkers that they're going to start building along their border with Russia. They're going to be building 600 bunkers on their border with Russia, which is just totally insane. That would be like Connecticut building 600 bunkers along their border with Rhode Island, okay? Estonia is a very small country. It's like the size of Connecticut. So just think of how many bunkers that is. That's like a bunker every quarter of a mile. So these RC-135 combat scent planes that have been going to Kaliningrad and northern Poland are high priority planes. They send intelligence directly to the President of the United States, and we only have 2 of these planes. So if they're up in the air somewhere, it means something's going down over there. Also, here you can see more reconnaissance, and for the first time ever, a British Poseidon MRA-1 plane was flying over northern Poland along the border with Kaliningrad, okay? And also a U.S. RQ-4 Global Hawk was patrolling the Polish border with Kaliningrad as well. So very, very concerning, guys. Lots of reconnaissance here in northern Poland, focusing on Kaliningrad. It's possible that a war could break out over here any day now. And we also had several German army helicopters patrolling the Lithuanian and Belarusian border here near Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, which is literally just 20 miles from the Belarus border. Okay, so Belarus could easily storm the border and reach Vilnius in under an hour. And late last night, we had several aerial refuelers leave Spokane, Washington, and head over the Atlantic and to the northeastern United States. This is preparations for deployment either to the European or Middle Eastern theater. We also had a nuclear war command and control plane that was doing loops over Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is very unusual. It was doing touch and go loops at Harrisburg International Airport. Very, very strange. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I do have my 24/7 stream live right now. Follow me on Telegram and Twitter. The links to my Telegram and Twitter are in the description below this video. I post all my updates there, so if you follow me there, you'll never miss an update. I might be back later on tonight. If not, I'll be back tomorrow with another update, and I'll be checking in and out of the 24/7 stream. And if anything happens anywhere in the world, anything crazy, I will go live and update you guys live as I always do. So just make sure you guys are getting prepared. It looks like all of these different fronts around the world are about to escalate and kick off. We have North Korea and South Korea now. We have China doing that massive blockade drill the other day around Taiwan with a record number of Chinese military aircraft around Taiwan. We have Ukraine preparing to do deep strikes in Russia. We have Israel about to launch a massive strike on Iran, possibly a decapitation strike and a strike on their nuclear facilities. All of these things happening at the same time. And in addition to all of that, we have the elections coming up in just 3 weeks. And we have this new Department of Defense directive ordering the U.S. military to use lethal force if necessary during the election. I'll have a little bit more information about that very soon. So get prepared, guys. Make sure you have a bug out plan. If you do have a bug out location, make sure you check and stock it. Make sure that you have a way to get to your bug out location. The winter is coming, so think about snow and traveling in snow if you live in the northern U.S. And make sure you have a fallout shelter. Make sure you have a nuclear war survival plan. Make sure you have a bug out bag. And I will be back soon. I'll catch you on the flip side. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.